I'm Leah and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing an update on my relaxed hair and also a recap of my latest relaxer touch-up. So as of the recording of this video, my relaxer touch-up was yesterday and I was 10 weeks post or 10 weeks since my last relaxer. I typically go about 12 weeks, but this time around I wanted to go fewer weeks because I wanted to go ahead and get my ends trimmed and cut. They were looking kind of horrible, and have my stylist just kind of work on them and give them a little love. So to prepare my hair for the relaxer touch-up, I basically did what I typically do the week before. I went ahead and clarified my hair and used a lot of moisturizing hair products. Now there was one little thing that was a little different, is that a few days after I washed my hair was feeling dry and wasn't holding moisture like it normally did. And I realized the reason for that was because I had stopped using the moisturizer that I typically use on my hair, which is the TGIN Buttercream Daily Moisturizer. The reason I stopped using that moisturizer is because it has an ingredient that's kind of gotten a bad rap lately and is being accused of causing shedding and breaking in hair, and that ingredient is DM-hydantoin. Now, I've used other products in the past that has this ingredient. I've never had any issues with those products, but my hair is in a more weakened state, particularly the bottom half of my hair, because of protein overload. So I said, maybe this could be doing more harm than good, so let's go ahead and give my hair a few weeks break from it. And what happened is my hair was just not as moisturized as it normally was. So I brought the daily moisturizer from TGIN back into play, and the Wednesday after I had washed my hair, I went ahead, co-washed my hair, deep conditioned, and then started using a moisturizer again. So then yesterday when I went to the salon to get my touch-up, my stylist was like, oh, your hair feels really great. Your hair feels nice and moisturized. And I knew I'd made the right decision. I typically don't like to wash my hair just a few days before I go to get a touch-up. It can cause irritation on my scalp, but this time around there wasn't any irritation. And I knew I'd made the right decision because my hair was nice and moisturized and soft when I went to get my touch-up. So I had mentioned that one of the reasons I decided to go a few weeks earlier for my touch-up was because of my ends. Now my ends have been in a bit of a mess, and I talked a little bit about them in my last touch-up recap video, and I think I might have given you guys sort of the wrong impression about what's going on with them. So in my last video, I had said that my ends were underprocessed. What I should have said is that my ends are acting like they're underprocessed. So underprocessed hair is when the relaxer hasn't been left on long enough for the hair to completely smooth out or straighten. That didn't happen with my hair. Yes, my hair still has some texture in it, and I like that. It doesn't have a whole lot of texture left in it, but what happened was this. It was protein overload, okay? Now I know that protein overload is what caused the biggest issue with my hair. I know it's why I was having issues with the texture, because prior to having protein overload, during protein overload, and a little bit after, I was being relaxed at the same timing. So my hair should have been exactly the same texture. It should have had the same amount of texture still left in it, the same amount of straightness, but it didn't. Okay, my hair after protein overload was perfectly fine. My hair before protein overload was perfectly fine. But then during protein overload, that's when things changed. Now, I have read, when I was doing research on the situation that I had, I found a lot of articles and videos. Most of them were from women who have natural hair, and they talked about how having protein overload changed the texture of their hair. And the worse that they had it, the more change in the texture that they saw. Plus, I had seen a stylist on who's part of one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of about relaxed hair, had posted something about some hair products that have a lot of protein in them, that they had been changing and impacting the texture of relaxed haired women's hair. So I know that my hair was not underprocessed. The protein overload changed the texture of my hair and made it seem like it was underprocessed. So my hair texture was more frizzy. It definitely looked like, it didn't look curly. It just looked like a lot of wavy. It looked like curls that had sort of been like, I don't know. It just was weird. And in some sections of my hair, it looked like relaxer had barely touched it for more than a few minutes, but I know the relaxer had stayed on for the same amount of time that it had been for a couple of years. And the reason it was my ends that was looking this way is because I've had a lot of growth since I got over protein overload since I discovered what it was and was able to do things to make sure that my new growth didn't have that issue. So it's only on the hair that experienced protein overload and hasn't been, cut off, that was having this texture issue. So my stylist and I have a plan in terms of what we're doing about my ends, and we did a few of those things during this last appointment. So one of the things is to do corrective relaxer. Now, my hair, like I said, isn't technically under processed, but it did look like and has benefited from having additional relaxer put on it. So what she did during this appointment is she touched up my roots and then rinsed them out and did the neutralizing shampoo and let the neutralizing shampoo sit, while then she went and put me up back in the chair, and on my wet ends she went and worked in some relaxer with her gloved hands. And she worked that in for about 4 minutes and then went and rinsed it out and did the neutralizing shampoo. So that's how she's done a corrective relaxer for my hair. Basically, in looking at my hair after she had, gone through the deep conditioning process and everything, and my hair was completely washed and she was getting ready to go ahead and dry it, we took a look at my hair. There's some areas we feel like could still use a little bit of fixing, but overall we think it's good. So after drying my hair, my stylist went through and gave me a really nice trim. She also went through all of the layers that are in my hair because of breakage and trimmed those all up as well so that they're pretty much even amongst themselves. So overall, I think my hair looks a lot better than it did just a week ago. My hair feels a lot softer, a lot smoother, but I feel like I always have a really good impression of my hair after I leave her chair. I feel like my hair usually looks pretty good and feels pretty good, but it's always a matter of after that first wash, how does my hair feel? How does my hair look? Can I get it looking as nice and smooth as my stylist did? And sometimes that happens, sometimes that doesn't. So we'll see what happens after this next wash. So here's my hair the day of my touch-up, and here is my hair today. So during this next relaxer stretch, which could end up being anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks, I'm going to be really focusing on my ends, trying to keep them healthy, making sure there's no breakage between now and my next touch-up. And my stylist has suggested that I use one of two things on my ends. One is something like an anti-breakage serum. The other is like a split end mender to try to give them a little bit of protection. And so I have both of those types of products. I'm going to be adding them to my hair regimen and trying them out on my ends to see how they do. And then also I'm going to be making sure that I'm keeping my ends protected. So even though I have my hair down right now, and I did wear my hair down for most of the day, what I did do is when I was in my car traveling and when I was just like, since I've been at home, I did something that I've actually done in the past when my hair was in its healthiest state. And that was I would just take my hair and put it up in a clip and keep my ends from touching my cotton t-shirt. And so that's kind of why you're seeing a little bit of this kink in my hair, because I had it up in that clip. So that's the recap of my relaxer touch-up and also an update on my hair. My hair is definitely on the mend. It's definitely looking and feeling a lot better. I'm a lot happier with it, but it still has a ways to go to get back to where it was, which I'm basically saying 2017 was the year for my hair. 2017 is like, I look back at those pictures and I'm just like, oh, I want that hair so bad. I want that hair back. And so that is what I'm working towards. That is where I'm trying to get, not even just the length of my hair, then, because my hair was growing quite a bit and was a really good length in 2017. I just want the thickness back. I want the health back. I want to be able to wear my hair down whenever I want and not have to do a lot to make it look good. That's where I was in 2017, and that's what I want to get back to. If you have any questions for me about this touch-up, any of the products that I used, or any products that I might have mentioned, please go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. And if you've had a relaxer touch-up recently, go ahead and share your experience, what's going on with your hair in the comments down below. I know everyone would love to hear about it. And if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.